Suplifters. Today I want to talk about why I love combat sports. As I said in the last video, I might do the video. Every single idea that I get is gonna be a video, because the more video I upload, the better it's gonna be. So, why do I love combat sports? And now I want to approach this question by the point of view of a spectator. So, what do I see when I watch an MMA match? Number one, it is highly entertaining because it's getting closer and closer to the WWE, which for some purists might be a bad thing. However, to me it's fun because I know that it is all fun and games, I know that it is all trash talk, and when it is actually trash talk for the sake of, making a spectacle, creating a narrative, that gets interesting. That is why I like it. When, for instance, Adesanya fought, Vettori or even Costa. It was fun because they talked so much trash to him, and Adesanya simply just whooped them because he always said that he was the best, and he actually, guess what, he is the best right now. And on the other hand, as some people said, I don't really want to watch two men fight if they love and they respect each other. And I'm not saying that that is necessarily a bad thing. However, I do believe that having some kind of animosity prior to the fight is something important. And the cool thing about combat sports for me is, in general, the martiality in the stuff, the martial arts in them. For me, I don't know why I'm talking so much about Adesanya, since I don't really like him too much as a fighter. However, one of the most striking moments for me was his match against Anderson Silva. It was the old guards versus the new dog in town. And at the end of the match, when they both bowed to each other in sign of respect, it was literally the passing of the torch. It was the old champion, the old best dude in the division, giving it to this new guy who has almost the same attributes but ended up being even better than him. And it was such an extremely nice moment, Or maybe when Khabib beat Gaethje. He beat Gaethje, he choked him out. After he did that, he went at the center of the octagon and he started crying for the death of his father. And after that, Gaethje, which was his opponent, who has just been choked out, just woke up and went in the middle of the ring and hugged Khabib and he hugged him, he told him, "You are the best in the world," and so on. And there is so much humanity in the sport, and it is something that you do not see in any other sport for me. Because, as I said in my previous video, you create a bond with someone you fight with. Khabib said that he didn't break Gaethje's arm just because his parents were there watching him. What happened is that at the end of the first round, Khabib had Gaethje in an armbar. However, he could have got it, but he decided to drop it because Gaethje's parents were there. And what he did was choke him out in the second round, because if you choke somebody out, the ref is going to stop the fight and nothing bad happens, okay? Of course, you might lose a couple of neurons, but you're fighting. So that's kind of one of the risks. And what he said right after is something so amazing to me. He basically told Gaethje that it is fine to fight for your family, to fight in order to gain money, to bring more value to your community, to your family, to bring them in a better place. But you should also cherish them and you should respect them, because he just lost his father. So he told him, it's okay that you do this, but do not self-destruct yourself, okay? Take care of yourself for their sake. Because money is important, money is good, that's amazing and everything. However, there is only one Justin Gaethje for their own parents. And that is something amazing that you do not see in any other sport. Again, you can see people who simply have to basically turn back on everything they value just to basically keep staying in the game. There is this guy called Colby Covington who basically has this persona of being a Trump supporter, of being racist and so on. And you might say, well, this dude is an asshole. And I might tell you, yeah, but I don't really think he is. This guy is an amazing fighter. He was winning a lot. However, his style is boring because he's a wrestler. He likes to wear his opponents out and then win and outstrike them. But it is not exciting, there is no submission, there is no knockout. And basically he has been threatened to be cut by the UFC, although he was winning, because he was boring. So what did he do? uh, he basically won against the Brazilian, and against the Brazilian crowd he told them, you are all animals or something like that. And that is kind of the birth of a monster, because he decided to become this monster, to be hated by everyone. And that must be extremely tough, because there is an extremely nice video of him talking to a fan, in which basically he gives a lot of good words of advice to this young man who's trying to become a fighter. And he basically tells him, like, where there's a will, there's a way. You should keep doing this, you got this, keep practicing, just do what I did, which is basically keep training and learning and improving and so on. And then this young guy tells him, you know, Colby, you should be more like that for the camera. People are gonna love you. And he said, yeah, but I'm not gonna sell anything. And that is terrible, because this guy clearly is a good guy. He's a good guy. However, he had to do it in order to provide for his family. And you know, we might think about fighters as just sportsmen, but they are not. They are risking their own life. George St. Pierre, arguably one of the best fighters of all time, after one of his first matches, when MMA was still extremely small and the pays were even smaller than now, and now they are getting paid misery for what they do. These guys they are getting paid peanuts. That it is disgusting for me. Anyway, he fought. He basically got a teeth knocked out of his mouth, and he basically had to pay the dentist to fix it, right? So basically, he fought, he won, and he still lost money, because he had to pay for his camp, he had to pay for everything, as well as these fucking teeth, and he ended up losing money. You know how hard this stuff is. You know how hard it is a sport in which you risk of getting ridiculed in front of everybody. You know, you might talk big to sell the fight, and then you get head kicked and you get knocked out. Look at Costa. It is hard. It is hard. He talked a lot of trash to Adesanya. He got completely dominated. He got humiliated in front of everyone. And now look at him. I mean, he talked a lot of bullshit. He can't cope with the defeat. Vettori as well. He said he was convinced of having won. What are you even talking about? How can you watch and rewatch that fight and think that you won? That is disgusting. But understand that these people are under such an immense amount of pressure. You know, for some people who are liked by the fans, it is kind of easier. You know, let's look at like Max Holloway. Holloway, yeah, he talks trash. However, everybody loves him, even if he loses, even if he gets knocked out. His fans are still gonna love him because he's such an enjoyable guy. He's a generous dude. He's genuine, and everybody loves him. However, for these people who need to talk trash in order to gain some traction for people, it gets hard. You know, look at Conor. After he talked mad shit to Khabib and he got humbled. Look at him now. He's on a roller coaster of self-destruction. Let's think about it. His career is going to shit. But that is self-caused, quote-unquote. Why? Because he always wanted to be the big trash talker. He wanted to enter in the mind of his opponents. And I'm not going to say that it didn't work, because it did. But right now he's just a shell of his former self, and it is a sad thing to watch and witness. Then again, when you see people leaving everything in the cage, or simply just the shocking moments, you know, when there was Yair Rodriguez against the Korean Zombie. The Korean Zombie was winning, and he got knocked out with an impossible hit at like 4:55 seconds of the last round, the last 5 minutes. So at the last second, basically, Yair hit the Zombie with an elbow like this, which is something that has never seen before, and the dude completely, like, he got knocked out on the spot. That was crazy to watch. That was absolutely crazy to watch. So simply for the shock value of these moments, you can simply understand that it is so beautiful. And what is even better is when you kind of start understanding how to fight, the feints, how people see how the opponent reacts to a certain move, and you start to understand all of these technicalities, you start to appreciate fighters even more. To me, Usman is a joy to watch. Some people hate Kamaru Usman because he grinds his opponent, he stomps on their feet. However, what he does is basically he created the quote-unquote meta, so the most effective tactic available. And to him, he is super strong, holding people over the cage and simply wearing them down and punching them, and that works for him. And also he's improving. He got a couple of oh my god, he knocked out Colby, the guy that I talked about before, and he broke his jaw. He knocked Durinho with a straight jab. He knocked him out with a jab. What are we talking? Knocked down actually with a jab. He keeps improving. He's gonna be the best fighter ever, maybe even better than Khabib. And seeing this young sport, because it is extremely young, it was born in 1991, so it's still so fresh, and you keep seeing everybody revolutionizing it slowly and slowly. Look at low kicks. Low kicks have now become calf kick. Right now we're kicking the calf of our opponents, which is something that was extremely considered stupid years and years ago because we didn't understand it. And seeing how the sport is evolving, to me, is a joy to watch. And I also believe that it is the freshest sport out of them, because boxing is dying. We can really say that boxing is slowly dying, although there is still millions and millions inside of it. It's going to shit. And I'm not talking about the Jake Paul stuff. I'm talking about general excitement regarding boxers. Nobody really cares about them. Guess why boxers are calling out MMA fighters? Because MMA fighters have got a lot of fame, and boxers have a lot of money, so they can gain mutual satisfaction from both. Look at McGregor versus not Pacquiao, I'm sorry, versus Mayweather. They both did a lot of money and they were two huge superstars, so it was amazing both for MMA and for the UFC, and as well for Floyd. So I really think MMA is going to be the combat sports of the future, and I really think that it should be brought back to the purest form. So right now they were even talking about banning the oblique kicks, which is basically this kick thrown like a side kick. However, you basically want to throw it on the thigh of your opponent in order to hyperextend the knee backwards, and there have been some kind of injuries, and some people were even talking about banning it, which is so dumb, because we are talking about a sport in which you can literally head kick your opponent into oblivion and you cannot kick their leg. This is so stupid. So yeah, in general, try to give them a chance. Also, you're gonna learn about violence. You're really gonna learn, because you're really gonna see what violence actually looks like. This weekend, a dude got elbowed in his teeth, and he got basically 3 of his incisive teeth, like these 3 teeth right there. He got them completely broken, completely removed off his jaw, snapped them off. And between rounds, they were asking him, "Do you want to quit?" And he said, "No, fuck it, let's do the last round. I'm gonna have surgery anyways." How can you even think about something like this? Also, I agree that it is never worth. However, when you see a man like that, what can you think? What do you think when you see a man like this, who lost 3 of his teeth, has 5 more minutes to go, and says, "Yeah, let's do it, I'm gonna have surgery anyways"? Don't you feel ashamed of simply not being good enough? Not good enough in general, but aren't you ashamed of not being courageous in your day-to-day life? "Oh, I'm tired, I'm not gonna work out." What are we even talking about? Look at this dude. That is way harder. Trust me, it hurts. It must hurt a lot. He got 3 of his teeth removed. Do you remember when you got, your judgment teeth hurting? He got 3 of them completely removed. No anesthetics. Bad stuff, trust me. And this is pretty much it. Go check combat sports out. Once you understand them, you're gonna love them, trust me. And that is it for today's video. See you guys in the next one.